Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and today we continue our Matrix Trilogy with one of the computer programs that takes center stage in the Matrix, Agent Smith. Portrayed by Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith is a computer program that is one of the several security programs to safeguard the Matrix from outside threats or glitches, i.e. the unplugged humans or rogue programs we meet at the beginning of the second Matrix movie. While the agents are pretty uniform in their responses to the red pills, Smith begins and sets himself apart very quickly. Unlike the other agents we see throughout the series, both Vanilla and Upgrade, Smith has a more self-serving mentality that is hidden deep beneath his program that will fester into something dangerous. Unlike the other agents, Smith seems to actually have emotions and opinions about humanity, going so far as to display open disgust for both humans and the virtual world that he's trapped in as well. Smith, despite the fact that he's supposed to be a cold machine, is actually one of the most human characters in these films. However, at the beginning of the story, Smith and the rest of his agents are all continuing their base programming, which is to stop human rebellion and locate the One before the humans can obtain it. As such, we're going to put Smith as the good old lawful evil alignment. Despite his disgust in humanity, he is actually quite a loyal soldier, only really opening up and expressing himself once Neo and Morpheus are really introduced to him. Smith is a character archetype that I love to dissect and dive into. Non-human characters learning and dealing with very human characteristics and emotions are extremely fascinating to me. Out of all the Matrix videos I'll be dropping this month, you really should be sure to stick around for the post-analysis, at least on this one. You should stick around for Neo as well, since he's very much a foil to Smith, and both of these characters are way more interesting and human than the internet likes to pretend that they are. And with all that out of the way, let's go.
We meet at last.
And you are?
A Smith. Agent Smith.
Lieutenant, you were given specific orders.
Informed of Trinity's location, Agent Smith and his fellow programs go collector, even telling the police not to be rash. This is less about the safety of the police and more about not wanting any red pill to escape. Smith ignores the back talk and gives chase. It's a fantastic chase scene, as stated in the Morpheus video. It is a nat 20 opening. In the end, Smith tries to run over Trinity and her escape route. Lawful evil.
We have the name of their next target.
The name is Neo.
With their mole's information confirmed, Smith and the others resume their programming and begin looking for the anomaly, Thomas Anderson. Under the guise of government officials, they come to collect Neo at work. They capture him and escort him out of the building. Lawful neutral.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson.
Face to face, Agent Smith reveals his knowledge of Mr. Anderson's double life. He asks for Neo's cooperation in finding Morpheus in exchange for no charges being filed. After Neo refuses to narc, Smith decides to refuse Neo's rights and plant him with a bug. This movie was ahead of its time. Authority figures abusing people for what they post online? Crazy, right? Neutral evil.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
After Neo has escaped the Matrix, Smith solidifies his deal with the mole of the Neb, Cypher. They wine and dine and agree to plug Cypher back into the Matrix with some perks and no memories of the truth in exchange for Morpheus. Lawful evil.
Oh, déjà vu.
With Cypher's help, Smith and the other agents are able to trap the crew of the Neb in a glitch in the Matrix. With Morpheus' sacrifice, Smith beats and captures his prize. Lawful evil.
Billions of people just living out their lives.
Agent Smith interrogates Morpheus like Blade with the vampires. Classy. Drugging Morpheus, Smith probes him for information, expositing as the drug goes through Morpheus' system. Honestly, the scene is amazing since we get some fun foreshadowing about Smith's own role. When he discovers Cypher is dead, or silent, he readies the Sentinels to clean up the mess. Neutral evil.
I hate this place.
Okay, this scene is incredible. On one hand, it's a tense scene with Morpheus trying to stay strong with the virus, but for Smith, it finally shows the cracks in his programming. He unplugs his connection from the system, thus becoming unaware of Neo and Trinity's rescue, and reveals his hatred of the Matrix, the smell of the humans, the captivity he experiences, and wanting to break free. It's a bone-chilling performance, and the first big insight that Smith isn't as loyal to the Source as he appears. Nat 20 scene, chaotic neutral.
Find them and destroy them.
Learning that Neo and Trinity are here, Smith demands to find and kill them. Too bad Smith and the other agents are quickly blown away by a Gatling gun. Jesus, lawful evil.
They're not out yet.
With Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity out of their clutches, Smith is ordered to commence the Sentinel attack. Despite the logical course of action, Smith goes off script and goes after his prey. Chaotic evil. Nat 20, no question. This is a beautifully shot fight and incredibly innovative for starters. Smith starts becoming more vicious and personal in his battle with Neo. He's not looking for the quick kill, and he's enjoying this to an extent. He even drags Neo onto the tracks so his host body and Neo will be killed by the oncoming train. We truly see that for Smith, this goes beyond just the job. As for the Neo analysis, stay tuned for next week. Chaotic Evil and Nat 20 fight. God, this movie's so good. Smith and the other agents chase after Neo, who is in a race against the clock. He is able to outmaneuver Neo and shoot him down, checking his pulse before leaving. Lawful evil. Neo stands up, empowered and alive, and an enraged Smith charges at Neo. He is quickly tossed around before Neo obliterates him from the Matrix. Chaotic neutral.
I was compelled to stay, compelled to disobey.
Destroyed and aware he must go back to the source, Smith goes against his programming. Although part of him comes back for his hatred against Neo, he says he was more compelled by the prospect of freedom and mostly refused deletion on impulse. He is transformed into a rogue program and begins infecting the Matrix. Chaotic evil. While we're on the subject, let's quickly talk about the Smiths. There appears to be a hive mind sorta mentality with Smith and copies following his return. He doesn't understand it himself, but appears that all Smiths throughout the Matrix and beyond are aware of one another. As such, each Smith, while acting generally the same with some minor differences, will be counted as the same being.
I'm looking for Neo.
Learning Neo's location after 6 months, Smith leaves a calling card and a hint that he has returned. He even observes Neo's skills from afar with the upgraded agents. Neutral.
You're right, I'll make it. Did you see that agent? I've never seen anything like that.
Discovering a group of red pills that stayed in the Matrix, Smith decides to infect Bane, finally escaping the Matrix at long last. Neutral evil. Under the guise of Bane, who we'll just call Smith Bane, Smith Bane begins to infect wounds on himself to experience pain for the first time. When he sees Neo, he goes to kill him, but stops when the others see him. So, just neutral.
Mr. Anderson.
Another stellar Nat 20 scene with Smith and Neo. Smith begins to reveal his ideology on purpose and freedom, or lack thereof, and it's a great scene of showing just how far Smith has been consumed by his hatred of Neo before trying to infect the One. The fight's a blast and shows that even with his God mode powers, Neo struggles against Smith. In the end, Neo escapes and Smith continues to spread his will throughout the Matrix. Chaotic evil and Nat 20 fight.
I think we should volunteer. What? You have gone crazy.
When Zion begins asking for volunteers to find Neo, Smith Bane attempts to convince his captain to join in order to get close to and kill Neo. Chaotic evil.
Whatever was supposed to happen didn't happen. Something's gone wrong.
Positioned as part of the EMP strike force, Smith Bane kills the crew and activates the EMP, disrupting Zion's defense and leading to many slaughtered people. He is spared by luck, but knocked out. Chaotic evil.
I'm sorry, this is a dead end.
Now having access to the back doors, Smith intercepts Neo, Morpheus, and the Keymaker on their way to the source. Wanting to obtain everything, he fights, tries to infect, and eventually shoots all three from getting to the source. Neutral evil.
Damn, not who I was hoping for.
Smith begins hunting Neo down in the Matrix, coming across Niobe and Ghost. Much like before, he continues to infect the Matrix and stop Niobe and Ghost from escaping, amassing more powers from inside the prison. Neutral evil.
Oh, I'm not so bad once you get to know me.
Having nearly consumed the Matrix, Smith corrupts Sati and Seraph. He finally confronts the Oracle. The purposeless, nihilistic agent tries to figure out why the Oracle remained. Gloating and raving in front of her, finally Smith infects her, with some unforeseen side effects. The Matrix has been affected, glitching and now crumbling, and Smith has gained the power to finally go toe-to-toe with Neo. Chaotic evil.
I don't remember any of it.
Smith Bane wakes up and lies about the events. Of course, no one believes him. When Smith Bane is going to be given some drugs to help him remember, he kills the doctors and sneaks out onto the Lagos to have his confrontation with Neo. Neutral evil.
Mr. Anderson.
Holding Trinity captive, Smith Bane forces Neo to be at his mercy. Disarming his nemesis, the two fight as Smith Bane blinds Neo and reveals his identity. He gloats at his fallen foe before Neo unlocks his new abilities and kills him. Chaotic evil. Having fully consumed the Matrix, the Smiths wait for Neo to come. Super Smith, the only one who can face him, battles his archenemy, finally understanding that all life does have a purpose: to end. Yet, as the battle rages on, Smith is baffled why Neo continues to fight on and the concept of choice. Well, at least he chose not to form into Mega Smith. Also, I don't care if this battle devolves into a CG DBZ fight, the music just sells it and I love it. Chaotic Evil, Nat 20 fight.
Wait. I've seen this.
As the unhinged Smith realizes that he has seen the outcome of this battle, he accidentally channels the Oracle with a message. A terrified and confused Smith eventually is goaded by Neo into infecting him, killing the One. Chaotic Evil. With Smith now directly tied to the machines, courtesy of Neo, the machines wipe out the Smith virus from the Matrix. Realizing his eradication, Smith says how it isn't fair before being deleted from the Matrix. Permanently damaged due to his interference. Chaotic neutral. Smith is a fascinating character to me because he's one of those characters that breaks the rules of his own universe. Despite the fact that he is supposed to be the first and greatest line of defense for his establishment, deep down, he, just like the other humans, feels like this is wrong and that he needs to get out just as much as them. Smith is very unique in the sense that not only does he continue to be a threat to humanity, he also becomes the greatest threat to his own society, murdering fellow programs and making the conscious choice to destroy everything, including characters he considers to be his family. Smith is a character who throughout all of his life is forced to go along with a system that he despises. He's just like Neo and Morpheus. However, once he gets his own taste of freedom and his own red pill, he evolves to become a person that lets his newfound freedom and emotions get the better of him. Despite the fact that Smith is motivated by anger, rage, and hatred, he's arguably one of the most tragic characters in the series. Smith, unlike the rest of the Red Pills, has no one else that could possibly understand him. The closest he has is Neo, another godlike character who has extraordinary abilities, but is also a representation of everything he hates. Smith both respects and hates Neo for embodying everything that Smith secretly wants. Smith is also a character that is a tragedy of circumstance as well. It's clear from Matrix Revolutions that he was simply a pawn of the Oracle, a character who he considers to be a mother. Although he chooses to be a menace to both man and machine, he was regrettably led to be a sacrificial tool in order to bring peace and change the two factions that he hated. By becoming an isolated parasite on everyone, he was transformed into a common enemy that they needed in order to forge peace. MatPat, despite how much I love to dunk on him, made a really interesting video suggesting that Agent Smith is actually the chosen one that brings balance and peace to the Matrix. Go check out that video and tell him LoadingCrew sent ya. However, as much as I like that video, I don't think Smith is the one. I do think he's the zero, or the binary opposite of Neo. I'll discuss this next week in my Neo video, but Smith and Neo are both victims of circumstance and duty, and both of them ultimately have to die in order to bring peace to their worlds. Worlds that neither of them owe any favors to, by the way, but both of them are unfortunately forced to take part in. However, like Smith says, everything that has a beginning has an end. And the end of this trilogy of videos will be coming next week, and we will take a look at the protagonist of the series, Neo, just in time for the release of Resurrection, which I am super excited for. Thank you all to the patrons, and I'll see you next time.